Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments. This is actually a re-record of this. Apparently, the first 5 minutes of the original had no audio, so we are re-recording, re-uploading, and making sure this all works properly for you. Just about to head away for my anniversary with my wife, and we're going to take our time to quickly make sure that you are all caught up to date with the best voltage decks. And we've got a surprise. We're doing the top 5 cards that are Series 3 and lower, and the top 5 Series 4 and 5 cards. But before we get there, I'm going to ask you to hit that sub button, like, and comment if you're willing. We cover Marvel Snap extremely thoroughly. Tomorrow will be a deck guide video. Yesterday, we covered the top 10 decks in Marvel Snap extremely thoroughly, along with giving you your introduction and reminder to Voltage, covering the first Ghost Rider. We covered all the bundles in Marvel Snap earlier in the week. We cover Marvel Snap more thoroughly and consistently than anyone, and if you're willing to show some support for that, it would mean the absolute world to us. Hit that sub button as we try to hit 25,000 subs in 2025. We're 700 away from the 20,000 milestone. We'll also be giving away a season pass on this video. All you have to do is sub, like, and comment. Leave a comment about Agamotto later this video. Sorry, leave a comment later this video in order to be entered to win Agamotto as long as you're subbed and liked. All right, our top 5 tips. So first, don't stress winning. Play a deck you'll enjoy. Winning doesn't matter in this mode. You get a little bit of extra points towards your rewards for winning, but you'd have to play a massive amount. If you just log in and clear your rewards, you will do a significantly better job at making sure that you are able to complete your rewards. If you're going to grind so much that you're going to get the new card a little faster, that's fine, I guess, right? But you're going to take this fun casual mode and turn it into an ordeal. Missions are what matters, and the only really hard one to win is the win all three locations one. And if you just play a good deck for a while, you'll get there. Don't overdo it. Don't overthink it. Play normally. Play normal Marvel Snap where you threaten 3 lanes, but really only try to win 2. And often enough, your opponent is going to have a throw lane in that lane you weren't trying to win anyway. That lane that it looked like you might compete in, your opponent's just going to throw it, and you're going to win that without too much investment. If you really feel like you must do it, a couple cards really do help. They're the 3 key cards. Negasonic, Shang, and Juggernaut are very, very good at taking lanes that looked like they were unwinnable and turning them to your side. If you do that, you should be able to steal some of those lanes as well. And then finally, outside of those 2 ways, if you really must, you can use an ongoing tribunal deck. Ongoing tribunal is any deck that tries to that's main game plan is to try to get onslaught, Iron Man, and the Living Tribunal all into one lane. If you can get all 3 of those cards into one lane, then you have a bunch of power all across the board, and that's usually enough to win uh, games of Snap, and by winning all 3 locations because you just go so tall. You can try to do that. You're going to lose a fair amount to your Juggernauts and Negasonics when you do that, so don't get frustrated, but if you absolutely cannot do it otherwise, that's a really good way to do it. You can play a special deck or a meta deck. I urge you to consider whatever is more fun for you as a general rule. The thing is here, you will have certain number of cards you'll have to play 5s or 6s or whatever. Just do yourself a favor in order to save time. Make sure whatever deck you decide to play has those numbers. You can switch decks as much as you want. Obviously, you can play as much as you want, but just make sure whatever deck you end up on, you can switch up. Pick whatever type of deck, however, is more fun for you. If you really love Destroy, but Destroy is not meta, so you stop playing it, this is an amazing time to try and rip out that Destroy, or plenty of other options like that. Next, keep an eye on Prio. The only thing I really care about when winning, I don't like getting blown out by Negasonic, Shang, and Juggernaut, so I do pay attention for those 3 cards. You want Negasonic on the first 2 turns. If the opponent has Prio, it can be really frustrating. You want to pay attention to a potential late Shang-Chi. Shang is often a card you don't want Prio for, but if you're dropping massive stuff on turn 2, they can Shang you with Prio on turn 3, especially if you're planning to Zol it. That's a fairly common thing in the Panther Zola play line, so keep that in mind. And Juggernaut is just all over the place. Juggernaut is super disruptive. It's probably the best card. Cannonball is fairly similar to Juggernaut. It's worth knowing that Cannonball and Juggernaut turn a lot of games here into 50-50s. That's fine. Just laugh at it, give yourself the time and grace, because winning and losing again here does not really matter. But if you are able to take those 50-50s with your Cannibals and Juggernauts, because generally speaking, um, people aren't filling up boards, right? Unless they're playing Ultron, the board is not going to be full. So the Juggernaut and the Cannonball are going to shoot it to a lane where you're really get the stuff to a lane where you're really strong and their cards can't win, or to a lane that you're not as strong where it can come over the top. I lost the game on two back-to-back. Well, a 50-50 and a 33%. I dropped a cannonball that I don't remember. I think I got it from Loki. I've been playing Loki. I think it's fun. I dropped a juggernaut on somebody, and it punched away their highest power card. And their highest power card could have went to one location that I was too big in, and one location that I was not big enough in, and it went to the highest location. And then I'll tell you later on this video how I lost the other 50-50 in that same match. So I strongly suggest you play stuff cards you wouldn't usually play to keep it fresh. Um, when I first loaded up, I was out and I didn't have any of the decks that I have today with me, so I was just playing whatever I had as a ladder deck. That's why I ended up playing a Loki deck for a while. What would you not normally play? What kinds of decks do you not normally play that you think are cool? Were you like a huge Zoo or Patriot stan in earlier series and now you really can't like do that at endgame? This is a great time to do that. Um, have you always just wanted to give like, I don't know, the Colossus Namora decks a try, and you want to try that with Wong and combo off? This is amazing. If whatever silly combos, whatever you want to do, make sure that this mode is casual and you have fun. There is one more tip though. It is not voltage specific. Right at the reset, right at daily reset. For me, that's 3 p.m. Eastern, then 11 p.m. Eastern, then 7 a.m. Eastern. Whatever 3 times a day yours are. As soon as those resets happen, Marvel Snap is the most played. However, during Voltage, people rush to get their Voltage stuff done. So what that means is that's a really good time if you're trying to get Infinite to go play Ladder, because a lot of people are going to be playing Voltage. You should be seeing some more bots at that time, and you should be able to take advantage of that in order to try to hit Infinite faster. All right, our first Voltage deck to talk about, fortunately, awesomely, sadly, if you watch everything we do, I guess, is the Scott Denham, the Sco Voltage deck. This is Sco's deck that we covered in yesterday's video. It is the highest win rate, highest sample deck. It's got a really good sample and it's absolutely crushing. This one is just it's almost a Voltage good cards list, right? Because what you'd really like to do with this list is get 4 energy on turn one. If you do get 4 energy on turn one, you've got the Wiccan, Gwenpool, or Galacta. If you get 2 energy, Mirage and Iron Patriot are great. If you get 3 energy, you're probably fine playing Zemo or Negasonic, although Red Guardian and Juggernaut can be frustrating in those cases. That's a lot of play patterns, right? Once you have too much energy, you're playing a semi-controlled game plan. Iron Patriot's really funny, turn one. Iron Patriot into Juggernaut or Negasonic with a guaranteed win, giving you that extra powerful card. Galacta playing for plenty of power. Gwenpool, you're actually probably going to play the damn Gwenpool cards. Mirage works like almost like a mini Gwenpool, giving you something cheap and strong. And Wiccan says, I just have too much energy. Um, Gore has some upside and downside in the fire hair version of the meta, but the win rate for this speaks for itself, as this one is a 68% win rate in 250 games. This is the Snap Family Riders deck, and it is the best deck in the mode so far. I personally grabbed this and stuck it in my Marvel Snap. It's too good. This deck needs Galacta. Iron Patriot can be Cable or Kate. Red Guardian can be Rogue. Wiccan can be Luna. You do want an Energy Ramper in this deck, although we will have a fairly similar deck that doesn't bother with an Energy Ramper later. Gwenpool can be Captain Marvel, and Zemo can be Morph. All right, next up we got a budget deck. This deck is all Series 3 and lower except for Iron Patriot, because Iron Patriot is freaking broken and apparently must be in everything, even this mode. Excuse me, sorry, just woke up. Budget control is super duper strong. This is just all the Series 3 cards that you want to run. This one is fundamentally similar to the previous deck, right? You're not running every good card, but you're running Sarah sort of in that Wiccan slot. Maybe Sarah could be Wiccan in the previous list. And then you're running like a Black Panther, like just a sub Black Panther Zola combo because that's 20 power across 2 lanes, which is really strong. And then you have all the different control pieces, and then just a couple of disruption pieces with Arrow and Magneto. Arrow is ridiculously annoying in this mode. Your opponents will often just be stacking up a location, and you just say no, thank you. Vision says, "Oh, you can't kill my power by stacking a location," as does and Magneto pulls everything logging. All three of those cards are absolutely backbreaking as far as control goes. And this is cheap. That's why it's here. It's cheap. Strong Enchantress say I don't get blown out by the on random ongoing or stupidly huge decks. Really cheap, very good. props to whoever made this one because it's 69% win rate in 54 games. That's huge. Not the biggest sample, but still doing really well. We'll have another budget deck too. So Iron Patriot can be Mirage in this list. We already discussed how good Mirage is in this mode. Next up, I told you Zoo would be good. Zoo is good. This is 2 cards off the list I featured yesterday. It is running Kyra instead of Shang-Chi. I maintain that unless you are personally seeing a lot of Killmonger, that Shang is going to be better for most people, but the win rate on this one's going to speak for itself. It's also kept Iron Patriot over an extra 1-drop. Again, I don't love Iron Patriot since it doesn't work with Marvel Boy, but Iron Patriot is a consistent lot of power if you can play it early. Although if you play it early, it's all of a 2/6. It is just power that you wouldn't otherwise have, though. And it can be pumped by Blue Marvel. This one has a 74% win rate in 55 games, which is utterly freaking absurd. Zoo is just really, really good in this mode. I don't know how else to put it. I think Zoo is the most boring thing in the world, so I don't play it. For this list, you're only going to need Gilgamesh and Mockingbird. Kara can be Shang or Armor. Marvel Boy can be Copycat, Juggernaut, or Negasonic. And Kate and Sam are just whatever the best ones you've got are. It is worth knowing. Sorry, let's go back for 1 sec. It is worth knowing for Marvel Boy that playing Marvel Boy in the first turn basically almost always does nothing, unless you're extremely lucky and got Marvel Boy and Squirrel Girl, right? So you're probably playing Marvel Boy on turn 2, which is going to make him a 3/7, which is fine, but like not worth going out of your way for. Next up, we have the Sizer Voltage. Hey, look, it's another one we talked about yesterday. This Sizer Voltage is one of the top win rate decks. It's got an even bigger sample than the Sco one. It's just not quite as high as a win rate. This one is fundamentally similar in except that there's a few key differences. It's running Hydra Bob in one of the extra 1 spots. It's not bothering with Wiccan. It says I don't need extra energy. The mode will give me whatever I need. And it says Morph is really, really great in terms of stealing what your opponent is doing. Like Morph is super duper strong in terms of making sure that like I can like my opponent is keeping high power cards in hand for the end of the game, right? Well, they're mine now. And then Copycat can steal anything. Copycat is the other card that lost me a 50/50. It stole a Makari and was hit by Gwenpool, which should be great, right? On the last turn, the Cannonball went to the wrong location, but if the Copycat of Makari goes to anywhere but where that big old Cannonball landed to beat me, I win. It went to where the Cannonball landed to. So that was that. I lost a 50/50 into that 33% because there was plenty of space on the board in all 3 locations. And sometimes that's going to happen in Marvel Snap. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, a Cannonball 50/50 into a Makari 50/50. Oh, technically a Copycat 50/50. Beat me that game. Everything else here is fairly self-explanatory. I do really like Zemo in this mode, and Red Hulk is more often than it looks like a 6/16 in this mode, which is just a ton of power. It's more consistent than Gore. I've had Gore be way bigger than Red Hulk could ever get here. I've also had Gore be almost nothing. Red Hulk is a more consistent card. Sizer's deck. Sizer is very often the number 1 player in the Infinite Leaderboard. He's currently number 2. This deck is 65% in 320 games. I do think Galacta is the most important card if you want to just play the good stuff shells. For this mode, you don't like 1,000% need it. Like if you change that with Wiccan, you could probably be okay. But like I do think that's really going to hurt the deck. Gwenpool can be Captain Marvel. We'll talk more about Captain Marvel later. Copycat, Zemo, and Regarding can be Enchantress, Rogue, Shadow King, Cosmo, and Red Hulk can be Magneto. Next up, another one I told you about. This one's 1 card off. I had She-Hulk. The better version is Vision, apparently. 67% win rate in 100 games. This is another budget deck. I think we have one more deck to talk about after this, but this might be the last one. Sorry, again, just woke up and had recorded this already, so it's semi out of my mind. This deck is really cool. This is the other deck from the videos I shoved in my game because this is stupidly fun. I don't know how else to put it. I don't like playing Shuri on Sauron on ladder. I get bored relatively quickly. I had a really high win rate with my version of the Starbrand deck, just for the record. My version of the Starbrand deck that had Shuri from day 1, I ended up going like 15 and like 4 with. Like I was absolutely crushing with it, but I was so bored. So I ended up just deleting the deck and moving on with life. I don't in 3 rounds. This is way more fun. This is actually getting people to retreat, which sucks. But like it's very powerful. The only high series card is Starbrand, who is fully replaceable with kind of whatever the hell you want. Like feel like running a Shang-Chi, have fun. Feel like running a She-Hulk, have fun. What like pick a card and you should be able to replace it. You play Sauron on turn 1 and then all your stuff, you just have a way more powerful stuff to drop for the rest of the game. I was gonna fix that, and then I was like, I recorded already. No point in fixing it now. And then I had to re-record, and I didn't fix it still. Oh well. All right. So next up, Our final deck, I wanted to show you another theme deck because I felt like we only really showed Zoo as far as theme decks go. Although that Surfer from yesterday, it turns out the series pass Surfer that KM is pushing is doing quite well too. Not quite at this level, but still pretty damn good. This one is all ongoing, saying if you're not running Enchantress, I just win. You've got Sarah and Ravona to really get your stuff out. You've also got Moonstone. This one can get stupidly, stupidly tall. Iron Man and Onslaught alone is like a 32 power lane, and then you can stick your copied Iron Man with Mystique under Moonstone for another stupidly big lane. It's not hard to pull that kind of thing off with this. You can also just drop casual good ongoing cards that are all good power because you run Spectrum. Sarah makes everything cheap. You don't always get Sarah on turn one, but this is very cool, very fun, and really, really simple to play. So if you're looking for a lot of points, this is a good one. It's also relatively cheap. It's not cheap, but it's relatively cheap. If you buy the season pass, you have Captain Marvel, then you need one Series 4 and one Series 5 card. So it's great to see relatively cheap stuff, considering so many decks run like 6 or 7 season pass cards doing well. 67% win rate in 180 games. You do need Sam and Ravona here. Moonstone can be Iron Lad or Super Scroll. Super Scroll is a little bit slept on. For a while, I was seeing nothing but ongoing and Doom decks. I was like, I should run Super Scroll, but I didn't need to. I was beating him anyway. If you'd like to check out a stream, please check out twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I will be live tomorrow night playing a whole bunch of Voltage. I'll play any deck the chat wants. That's how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna let the chat choose my decks. You're gonna we can build decks together and hang out. So tomorrow night, hopefully around 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing some Voltage stuff. Our season pass question for anyone who's looking to win that season pass is very, very simply, what is your best Voltage deck so far? What have you had the most fun with? What have you enjoyed the most? What are you winning the most with in this mode? Again, don't forget to check out a stream. Let's do top 10 cards. So the early series stuff, tied for 5, are The Thing and Captain Marvel. We'll talk about The Thing in context of number 4, because at first I was like, The Thing, is that, like, is there a secret Evo deck? Nope, it's just Patriot. So also, Abomination's doing really well too. Captain Marvel is unsurprisingly great here, right? We know the power of like Galacta and Gwenpool type decks in this mode, so having Captain Marvel fit with those makes a lot of sense. You're stuck guessing a lot of 50-50s. There's a lot of Juggernauts. There's a lot of Cannonballs. Captain Marvel makes all of that easier and thus keeps a really high win rate. I know we didn't see her today, but I do think Captain Marvel is a really good shout and one that's definitely worth looking at as a way to just like steal wins, right? Like you're just saying, my opponent is frustrating with X, Y, or Z. Captain Marvel says, "Hey, don't worry about it. I got you covered. I'm gonna go win that lane that they thought they could win on the cheap anyway." The next three cards are all together. The Thing, Patriot, and Ultron are all in a deck. It wasn't one of the top win rate decks, but these are the top win rate cards, so that's worth knowing. Patriot decks are apparently totally legit here. Um, that's not shocking, right? If you can go Patriot Moonstone or Patriot Mystique into Ultron, you probably win most games of Marvel Snap. Your opponent's trying to do big combo off stuff, and you're saying double Patriot, so +4 to all my 1/2s. So that's 6, 12, that's 24 power lanes throughout the board, and one reasonably sized lane to boot, and that's fairly likely to win in Marvel Snap. Is this the best thing I've ever seen? No, but it is pretty solid. From there, we are going to go with Brood. Brood is potentially in the Patriot decks. There are some versions of Patriot decks that run Brood and Azoriman. It's possible that's what we're seeing here, but I rather do think Brood goes with number 1, Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer decks are great here. Again, the KM Best version, that's the Season Passler, which it runs outside of the regular Patriot cards. It runs Iron Patriot. We covered it last Friday in Best Decks, not this Friday, a Friday ago in Best Decks, because we saw that this was coming up. Um, I do think there's a better one for ladder now, but apparently this one rocks in Conquest. It runs Sam and Iron Patriot, and then it just runs a regular Surfer deck with Surfer Galactus stuff. Um, that's going to be one of the best decks. Like it's really really consistent. It puts up a lot of power. It doesn't get hit a lot. The reason I don't play it often is I don't want to have to switch decks all the time, and that one doesn't really run like it runs like two fours, a 5 and a 6. Sorry, no 5s and no 6s, and I just want to get my stuff done without like spending an hour on it. I want the mode to be fast and casual. I think that's the best way to engage, and Surfer doesn't really do that, but it does win a lot. So if you're looking to win games, Brood and Surfer go really well together. I also have a secret hope. One of my favorite decks ever in Marvel Snap was when Surfer and Patriot went together. I think that's the Surfer and USA style decks are really really fun. Um, Perhaps because so many of these cards are good together, we can make one of those again. I think Galacta might be too good and messes up whether that deck can be the best version or not. Furthering the Surfer is so freaking good in this mode is Makari. Makari is right there with all these other cards in terms of win rate, which is both hilarious and awesome. Free 4 power is pretty good, right? Like at the end of the game, the opponent thinks they won. I do think a lot of what we're seeing is ways to beat like Juggernaut and Cannonball. Juggernaut and Cannonball and Negasonic and Shang and so on being so prominent. Anything that sort of says I can still win that lane has extra value, thus Makari is great. Same thing for Kang. I was shocked to see Kang, right? Like I played Kang in this last time in a negative or onslaught list, and had great success. So apparently Kang is still kicking ass. I told everyone he was good in this last time, and I was told I was wrong. But he is still really good in this mode. I just don't want it to take longer. Again, I'm trying to keep this fast, and I run Kang on ladder more now because I run it in Galactus sometimes. Thanks, but Kang is really good at letting you know that these specific cards that beat you are coming, and that you can play around them. Ares suggests very simply the only place Ares would make any sense in this mode is that there's a Surtur deck somewhere. Surtur is good, Surtur is strong. In this mode, it's not surprising. So if you miss that deck, perhaps Ares suggests here that that's one you should be playing. That one also has a lot of different costs and a lot of ways to win all 3 locations, stuff like that. Shaw is here because Shaw is great in Surfer. Shaw is great with Galacta. Shocking no one. Shaw, Surfer, Galacta, play it. The cards go really, really great together. That's again, none of these. That's not a surprise since we saw the last one. And number one is Hydra Bob. A little surprised to see Hydra Bob so high, but Hydra Bob is a really great in that Sizer deck. But B, it has no downside. There's no snapping in this mode, so it's just a 1/4 that you can play anywhere that doesn't do anything bad to you. That's about as good stats as you get. Like Ant Man's a 1/5 if you fill the location, right? Hydra Bob says nope, just a 1/4. All that kind of stuff does have a lot of use in Marvel Snap, and thus Hydration Roberts ends up the number 1 Series 4 and 5 card in this mode. If you're interested in seeing gameplay for these cards and decks, please check out the stream team. Today, right now, Fawthor Newman should be live, and tomorrow you can check out Who Behave during the day and me at night. Patreon.com/Snap Judgments is how you find me. Please come check it out if you're willing to throw the channel some extra support. We certain tiers of support on the Patreon come with an extra bonus shout out in each video. My lovely friends, we're going to do this quickly because I got to hit the road. Thank you to Absolute Shannon, Abigail Lisa, Mandatory Burnout, Irregardless, LAB, Inc., I Am Frostman, Hota Navidente, Thinking Poker, Prime Ryan, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Caretix Lee, Koi Ray, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Parafros, The Goat Seeker, Hollowed, Nightmare, Only Fox, Synth, Fat Nick, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Candy Loggins of the Digital and the Bizza, Black Jeep is 23, Exor's Feet, and Skippy G, Jessica Gambles, Mr. Slush Death, The King of Bros, Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kepsi Hoda, Ludicrous, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Bricks, 2 Click, Rob Silverman, M. Holland, David G. Wingfield, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., Mr. Craig Sterry, Matt V., Ren Wrench, Corwin, John Q, and Jimmy McHugh, Q-Town, You Stout, 8th Sage, One Big Man, Milkman, For Reals, Cactus, Jack, BG, Quid Pro Joe, Snap, Decisions Joe, Models, Matt Supreme, The Green Goblin, Unibot, Flan 56, The Fuzzy Launch, Spectrum Mix, Hoot, Ocularis, Matt H, DJ, Mikey, Hijinks, No Flex, Nick, Doug, Great Geek, Sodrix, The King of Canada, Dent, Matt, Falcon, Fowler, Newman, Jonesy, Two Ties, The Great Lardez, The Pirate King, Tucker, and of course, Gunny T. That's it. I'm out. I'm hitting the road. Much love, everybody. Shoot me a message in the comments, or if you know how to find me otherwise, Discord, etc. Feel free. I'll be around. I'm just not going to be home. I'll see you soon. Much love, everybody. Peace.